Morning, everyone. Welcome to the Seneca County Commissioners Board meeting. It's 9:30, August 4th, 2022, and we will open the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Commissioner Kershaw, prayer, please.
Please join me in a short prayer. Heavenly Father, you said knock and the door shall be open. We are asking for your assistance as we deliberate items that are important to the people we represent. We ask in a special way that you watch over those who are protecting our freedoms and their families. We ask all this through your Son. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Roll call.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Present.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Here.
Okay, I'll accept a motion to approve the digital audio recordings of our last meeting, July 28th, 2022, for regular session and executive session.
So moved.
I'll second.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes. Okay, so we are entering into a ditch hearing with Huron County. You guys are there?
Turn it up.
We are.
Hi there, Commissioner Wild.
Yes.
You can't hide that voice.
So we have Commissioner Booth and Commissioner Brady here. And I'm going to go ahead and read the resolution,
That's Brady.
title only. So this is Resolution HSJD 22-01 in the matter of maintenance assessment for 2022 for the Huron and Seneca Joint County ditches maintained by the Huron County Ditch Maintenance Program. Do I have a motion from Huron County?
This is Harry Brady, and I would move to adopt this.
Can I have a second from,
Got a second, Mike Kirschner, Seneca County.
very good. And then we have Aaron here who, you want to just give us a once over?
Yes.
Tell them who Aaron is. Aaron is Soil and Water.
Aaron Robinson, Huron County Ditch Maintenance. It's got a couple assessments. The 104 is a 10% assessment, 147 a 4%, and 108 a 10%. They've already started work on the project this year. 147, which is Magasin Creek, has got a big section of it that's already been started to get mowed. 104 will be sprayed this fall, and 108 is going to be mowed after 147 and also sprayed.
Very good. Any other discussion? Okay, then Huron County will vote.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Wild?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
All right. So that motion carries. We're all set.
Yep. Yes.
Tony, you got anything new to tell us?
Nothing new. All good at this end.
Okay. All right. Good to hear from you.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to hang up on you. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Later.
Okay, so do we have a hard time for the next hearing, 9:45?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's when it was published, and
yeah.
they're not here yet, so.
So we can maybe get through a few things. Commissioner reports?
Yeah, I'll start. We all want to welcome our new medical director for EMS, Dr. Salver. He's a young man from, actually born and raised most of his life in Tiffin.
Yeah.
Now he works for emergency room doctors in Toledo, but he is now with us. Dr. Fitzpatrick, we want to wish him well in his retirement and thank him for all his hard work. I want to give some kudos to the Board of Elections. Even though we only had a 6% turnout, they still had to be there in the same manner they always are. As far as I know, that went over without a hitch. Congratulations to those who have been elected. We'll see what happens in November. And a reminder, I know that it's early, but since we're all back full force from COVID, it seems, we do have the 43rd, I think the longest ongoing festival in the state, the Heritage Festival, September 16th to 18th. So just to remind everyone to put that on their calendars, and we can all look forward to that. They have the Heritage Village again out at Hedges-Boyer Park, and downtown will be a big celebration. So mark your calendars and prepare to attend that. That's what I have.
Okay, good. Spent a lot of time out at the fair, really enjoyed that. Actually visited with all the township trustees and saw Commissioner Kirschner out there with his granddaughter. We passed each other a few times. It was a great fair, great weather. I want to thank everyone for all the hard work, and it was just a good event. Yesterday we had a solid waste district meeting up in Ottawa County. I thought it was very productive. Senator Reineke attended the meeting, and there was a lot of good discussion about what solid waste district does, its purpose, how Senator Reineke can help us, how we can communicate better. So there'll be some follow-up to that, but really appreciate him taking the time to come up and plug in and learn more about the solid waste district. Also has some ideas as he's involved with the Sunny Farms situation and putting his thoughts together. Thank you. We had a regional planning meeting last night, 5 o'clock. It was well attended. It was probably most people I've seen in a regional planning meeting. Got some items accomplished. As a result of that, I was unable to attend the downtown trip to Piqua, since I'm on that committee. Adam Gilmore, you want to give us an update? I heard it was a nice event. Part of our accreditation is we need to visit, we take an annual visit to different communities, and yesterday was the day, right?
Yeah, so yesterday the Downtown Committee, Development Committee went to Piqua and Tip City, both just north of Dayton. The committee was trying to learn how other communities handle their downtown development and handle preserving their heritage and the historic buildings downtown. So Piqua, has some very beautiful architecture, very beautiful old buildings, and we were able to speak with their downtown director, Lorna. She offered some insights into how to handle some, the pushback that you received, some work that you're doing trying to boost the downtown area, boost the main street of your community. The committee then went to Tip City, which is another roughly similar sized town to Tiffin at 18,000 people, and had lunch where a meeting was held to kind of set the goals and broad strategies for the next year moving forward. So that was a very successful meeting. Then did a tour of Tip City and got a great overview of what they're doing to bring in outside developers as well as boost developers within the community to preserve their historic buildings. They've got quite a few there and have some very interesting heritage around the canals. Both towns are canal towns on the old Miami Canal. So it was a very productive trip, and hopefully, next year you'll be able to join us as you have in the past and enjoy the great time that it is and great learning opportunity that it is.
Good.
Thank you for sending Jimmy, by the way. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great trip. It really was. We learned a lot.
Yeah, thanks for
It's
going, Jamie.
cool going to communities that are of similar size, dealing with some of the same issues that we do when it comes to downtown development and overall economic development. So, very positive trip. It was great spending some time with Adam, and good networking too. So you meet some counterparts in the other community that you can bounce ideas off of.
When you were a young guy, did you study Erie Canal, Miami Canal?
I knew about it. I guess I knew about it somewhere along there.
When we were kids.
We actually had to use it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Good history there. I mean, the opposite of that is that Tiffin has also hosted a number of communities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we kind of are a shining star as far as downtown
Good
development
point.
goes as well. So it's good to host people, and it's certainly good to go see what other people are doing.
Okay. Welcome, Commissioner. Stace helped me out with this one. EMS meeting for tonight's been canceled, and we'll circle back up with the child awareness recognition here in a couple minutes. County Administrator's Report.
Yep.
Go to you.
I was just gonna bring up that the Seneca County Joining Those Districts sent us an email.
Okay.
You know, it said the board would like to update the commissioners on the status of the board. At this time, we would like to cancel the meeting scheduled for August 4th. We are still in the organizational stage and getting the levy committee together for fundraising for public education. We are still working on questions and answers for the public meeting. We would like to schedule the meeting for later in the month of August. Let us know what dates would work best for the commissioners. We feel it would benefit all, as we will have a better direction and more defined answers for the public meeting later, at a later date. So I don't know if we work on some dates still in August, or do we just wait till the September? Look at the calendar.
So it would be scheduled for the first meeting in September at this point?
Yes.
We could just keep that. We have one. Do we have a date set? Not
For the first
officially.
one?
Yeah.
It'd be September 1st, yeah. But he did not recommend a date, he just said later in the month.
Let's keep September 1st, and then maybe next week if there's,
Okay. I can
Okay.
just send him an email and say,
Yeah.
if you have a date, let us know.
it's the first Thursday of the month,
Okay.
and we'll just, is that good?
Yeah, it's fine,
You good?
as far as I'm concerned.
Yep, let's hold with them.
Okay.
Well, since we're talking about dates and times, I want to remind everybody, you probably will, next week we're meeting on Wednesday
Yes,
instead of Thursday, so the 10th instead of the 11th. Some of us will be participating in an event over in Fostoria on the 11th
Same time.
at the same time.
yeah, 10 o'clock.
It's 9:41, 9:42, so we're okay, but we have 3 minutes to join a hearing, right?
Yep,
Okay.
usually stick to the hearing times in case somebody comes in. Let's see, I got a financial update where we're sitting at with the general fund. Our revenue for the month of July is 1.3. Our expenses are 1.5. I can read the totals. So the total so far this year is about 12.8, but of that 12.8, we've set aside, transferred approximately 2 million over to either our budget stabilization, our capital projects. So, you know, Mike said before to get some of our core expenses instead of those out of there. So it's about 2 million that we've set aside already so far since the beginning of the year. And then the total revenue is almost 12 million. So,
So 12.8 has been the expenses so far this year?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
12 million has been the revenue?
yep,
Now
if you
what-
take
what-
2 million out of the
Right, and what does the 12.8 million include?
The 12.8 would be all the expenses, including our transfers out. So that 2 million, you know, so we're basically at 10 million on our expenses.
Okay,
Yeah, that's,
I'm just trying to get the core earnings and core
Yep,
expenses.
and that's why that big
10.8.
expense takes out. Take
Got it.
that out, and that gets us back down to our core.
How did sales tax do in July compared to,
It was, let me open that real quick.
it's a dread house.
Sales tax. Our sales tax was $968,430.75. So it was down about 20,000 from last year and quite a bit up, almost 300,000 from 19, but it is down from last year, about 20,000.
how about June?
June was down about 50.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
So I won't get August's until probably the 15th is usually when that comes in. So,
So
So
we've clearly flattened and the curves, right? That's kind of what is that what you're,
Yeah, we got 7 months in, so how much did we certify, how much did the,
for the sales tax altogether,
no, how much did we certify total?
total revenue,
For the year.
let me look, see if she's made any adjustments. Revenue. So revenue she has at 19.4,
Okay,
and the sales tax she has at 11.3.
okay, and are we pretty much hitting those numbers?
Mm-hmm, yep,
Okay.
we are.
Okay, so if you guys are all okay with it, it's 9:45, and what's next, we're live? Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought we were gonna go back to the phone, so we're good. Okay, would you like to come forward?
Yeah.
Or-
Do you care where?
TFA, you can stand, whatever you want to do. Introduce yourself.
Come on up.
The floor is yours, thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is a public hearing. My name is Julia Knesny. I'm with the law firm of Dinsmore and Scholl. We're bond counsel to Bon Secours Mercy Health for this transaction. This is about the issuance by Allen County, Ohio, of hospital facilities revenue bonds. The principal amount will not exceed $200 million. That's across the state of Ohio. You'll notice I'm saying these are Allen County's issuance. They're their bonds. The reason that I am here is because of, it's just part of the federal tax code that because these bonds, some of this money will be spent here within your jurisdiction at different Mercy Health facilities within Seneca County. And since that money is being spent here, you are the applicable elected representative, and so we need to have your host approval for these things. So not only are you not issuing the bonds, at no point will these bonds be backed by any taxpayer dollars. This is only the revenues of Mercy Health. So no taxpayer dollars, they are not debt or general obligations of Seneca County, and they will in no way affect your ability to issue your own bonds or anything of that nature. So again, it's just, they want to spend money here. The notice contained the locations where they will be spending some of that. It's no more than 10 million in Seneca County and no more than 5 million at any given location, including Mercy Health Tiffin Hospital, Tiffin Rehab and Therapy, Occupational Health, locations like this.
So the total bond is 200, is that what I remember?
Yeah, it'll be no more than 200.
And it's a revenue bond strictly, and taxable, non-taxable?
So this will be a tax exempt piece.
Tax exempt piece, okay. If we have local brokers who would like to sell that bond to individuals, who would they contact? Is there a QSIP number? Is there a?
There will be, I can get back to you on that. That it will all come out. I think the official offering doc will be probably end of September, or maybe end of October will be.
Have we established a rate on the bond yet? Do we know?
Have not, no.
Oh.
But it will be probably pretty favorable just because Mercy Health has such good credit and they're such a large organization.
Yeah, because there is some interest locally with
Okay.
banks and individuals in buying some of that.
Okay, then yeah, I can definitely get back to you on that, but I will have to look into it a little bit.
Questions? Anything else?
That's all I
Thank
have.
you for coming up.
Yeah,
It's my
happy-
first time.
With a,
I thought it was a phone
You're fine.
scenario, so
No,
thank
you're
you for
fine.
coming up personally. And
yeah, I get to go do Ottawa County
I guess we
next,
should be,
so.
we should feel good about Mercy investing back in the community.
That's,
You know, it's healthcare and
right,
it's
it's,
a good thing.
I've yet to have anyone object. Basically, it's, they're investing locally,
Sure.
no, no strings for you,
Right.
so.
And we have to make sure that we also say that it has no effect on the county's ability to borrow money.
Correct, yeah.
Just basically approving,
Yeah.
allowing Mercy Health Systems to do that.
Exactly.
I think it's Mercy Health Systems. I don't-
I'm sorry?
What is it now? It's not Mercy Health
It's
Systems?
Bon Secours Mercy Health,
Okay.
yeah, because they merged and,
So do we need action?
I don't think we have any documents today.
if you could pass a resolution approving this once the public hearing is over.
I don't think we have, do we have that drafted? I don't think we have that ready.
I think you should.
Did you have that?
And I can always, I have a,
So a sample.
yeah,
Do you have an actual copy for me?
deal.
And I think Squire Sanders has looked at it
Yes.
as well.
Commissioner Kirchner's banking mind was spinning there.
Well,
They were discussing bonds and,
Yeah, I thought we did have a resolution somewhere along the way.
We've done it before,
Yeah.
yeah. I just don't know if we've got this one, but she's got the hard copy, so we wanna, public comment, and then we can close the hearing.
anyone, any public comment on the presentation? So.
Close the hearing.
We'll close the hearing. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thanks for coming, Counselor.
Of course.
Do we need a motion for a resolution?
Yep, I have a resolution authorizing the County of Seneca, Ohio to approve the issuance of hospital facilities revenue bonds of the County of Allen, Ohio, and authorizing other documents in connection with the issuance of such bond.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Commissioner Kirschner,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes. Good.
Okay. 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 All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll get this signed and sent to you.
Yeah, just email.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks so much.
One of the, I just email.
Yeah.
You know, last night at regional planning, we approved the electronic signature
Policy?
policy that our HR department put together. So that was kind of nice. Okay, Commissioner report. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, worked for the Board of Elections here this week. Everything went very smooth. It was low voter turnout here this election. I think it was 6%, I believe. So kind of an off election here as far as numbers go, but everything ran very smooth. Kudos to our team at the board. Also, we had the solid waste district meeting here yesterday, the regional meeting, which was up in Port Clinton area. So we got some updates from that group. Senator Reineke joined us. He discussed some of his concerns as far as recycling and what state numbers and goals were. So it was nice to have him there at that meeting and catch up and discuss also some landfill issues. Once we got back to town, we had regional planning, which we made it back before in the nick of time. As Commissioner Paradiso had said, I'll let him say that for his report. And then tomorrow we have the launch of Astoria Business Contest, so we're going to be having another new small business join our ranks here in Seneca County, maybe two. So bring a lawn chair if you can make it to the event. It's open to the public, and you can actually vote on which business you'd like to see come to Seneca County. That's all I got.
Okay, good. So let's move into our Child Support Awareness Month proclamation. Commissioner Schuff.
All right.
Very important.
Yeah. So I have a proclamation here from the Board of Seneca County Commissioners. Whereas Ohio supports the well-being of citizens by strengthening families and promoting economic stability, and whereas Ohio recognizes that legal paternity establishment is an important foundation of emotional, legal, and financial stability for every child in the state of Ohio, and commends parents for establishing a solid foundation for their children's future. And whereas Ohio recognizes that even though parents may live apart, children still need the love and support of both parents. And whereas Ohio is committed to helping families access community resources that can help them overcome barriers to paying child support. And whereas Ohio is dedicated to serving Ohio families by providing child support programming that motivates parents to meet their goals, inspire their confidence, and promote family self-sufficiency. And whereas Ohio honors the dedicated parents, families, child support professionals, and partners who understand the needs of Ohio's children, and committed to working together to strengthen our families and our communities and our state. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Seneca County Board of Commissioners of Ohio, hereon to proclaim August 2022 as Child Support Awareness Month. And the witness whereof we, the Seneca County Board of Commissioners, here have set on hereon to have set our hand to this proclamation this 4th day of August in the year of our Lord 2022. Commissioners Paradiso, Schuff, and Kirschner.
Okay, thank you.
Very good.
Do we have a request of the courthouse or anything?
Yes.
On
it
this
will
topic?
be-
It's green.
Yep,
Okay.
it will be green from the 4th to the 15th.
I thought I saw that, and that's good. So, so the courthouse will be lit green to support that.
And August 4th is National Wear Green Day, which luckily I got on, but.
I'm struggling. I have green pants on.
Okay.
Bills and compliance?
There you go.
No. I thought that was just St. Patrick's Day.
Before we go into new business, I've overlooked two things. We received a draft copy of the broadband study, and the final copy will be released, I believe it's on the 30th. So the commissioners are asked to look this over, so I'm going to pass this around. anybody has any comments, markups. Commissioner Frankert and I will be, Commissioner-elect Frankert and I, you're representing the townships in this behalf, will be headed down to Columbus to meet with Ice Miller to go over any changes, to talk about, basically get ready for the rollout on the 30th. So we're kind of all up to date. We'll be meeting at COS down there.
Did they send us that digitally by any chance?
They did. It was in a Dropbox. Did they send it digitally?
Sorry.
Answer, they did. It was in a Dropbox. I couldn't get it open.
Okay.
So I called them, and then they
Brought me, okay.
brought it the old-fashioned way, so I like them a lot better.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll
We
ask
have a
'em.
copy printed by NCOSC, so we'll get that around. But I'll make sure you get it.
Okay.
Okay, then finally, we received an email from the DBA Eastern Seneca Joint Ambulance District regarding some disciplinary action. And so I just want them to know, they asked us to reply by Friday. We've turned that over to our people internally, and that process will continue. There will not be any resolution by tomorrow, though. But we just I want to communicate back to them that we received the memo and that we're running it through our channels. If you want to add anything to that, we're good. Any other old business?
Actually, had a question for Stace. I had a few questions from a few people this week. Did we hear anything back as far as updates on the building department information?
I talked to Sandusky County, because I remember one conversation we had with Safe Build at one point, which I think, Mike, you were working on setting up a meeting to talk to them again. But I reached out to Sandusky County to see if they would be interested in doing that process for us. And she had talked to her board. They were interested, so she's going to draft up a contract for us to review. And then if we still want to talk to Safe Build separately to do our own, we can.
I think
But-
they're gonna call tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I'm just gonna basically tell them the same thing that Stacy said, that Sandusky County's looking at it.
Yep,
Thank you.
yep.
Speaking of buildings, so I've had the question and I didn't know the answer. The health department building,
Yes,
what's the wall was stucco.
yes.
What's that going to be after completion? Is it gonna be stucco again or?
Brick.
Brick, okay.
Yep.
That's what I thought I remembered.
Yep.
Are they
Mostly
refacing it, or are they
They're basically
Are they-
restructuring that wall.
are
We
they
do
gonna point and tuck it? Is that what they're gonna do, or are they gonna actually put a facade
Whole
on?
new wall.
hold the wall
Whole
up.
new
I
wall.
asked John the same, so I'm glad you brought that up, because I asked John, I go, what the heck's going on? If you look at it, you'll see the concrete sticks out.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like a footer. It is a footer, and they're just gonna build a
They're
new
gonna
wall
build
right
like a-
up.
Okay, because there's a lot of
against the
old
other wall.
replacement
I
of
said the
windows that's
same
happened
thing.
over the years and all that.
Where are they? You know, where are they at? But
So they're gonna try to do the brick style that's downtown, basically.
Yes,
red
yep,
brick.
matching with everything
I
else.
think if you remember, it's some brick, but it has some of that, what's that called, like a sandstone look,
Yeah.
you know?
And I think we went all with brick.
Did we go
I
that
think
whole
we went
side
all
brick
with
now?
It's gonna look nice.
Okay.
We do have the structural engineer coming in, so the contractor had a couple of concerns about a couple spots not being secure. So we gotta have them come in, so they're working on other things beside the wall at the moment. It may be something that we have to address.
Yeah, it's a
but-
little tricky because they did cut out some windows over the years and that kind of thing there, so it's not.
Right, and we didn't know until we got into it, so
Yeah.
more to come on that one.
You see what was there 100 years ago.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, yep.
Anything else? Whole business? Anybody? Stacy? New business?
Old business? Okay. Let me bring up. I just want to touch on a couple that I have questions or concerns about. Usually, certain appropriation adjustments are under my threshold that I can approve, but I received a couple, quite a few actually, that, you know, I'm not quite comfortable approving them without having a discussion with you. We got a request from the treasurer's office to move money from the bank fees line to the lease line. As you recall, a couple years ago, basically the fees were paid for directly as a credit from the bank, that we weren't expensing it. So the state auditor's office the auditors asked us to put a bank fee line, so we put $45,000 in there for bank fees only. We haven't spent, but not even $1,000 out of it yet. I don't think transferring money out of that line to a leases line because they bought new copiers is appropriate, just because that was, the only reason we increased it is for that purpose. So my thought is to just recommend if he has extra money in his supply line or something like that, otherwise I think he should ask for an increase. I'm just a little concerned that we're gonna use that $45,000 for something other than what it was intended, so.
How much is he asking for?
$2,000.
Okay. So the treasurer wants to buy some equipment
He's already signed the contract.
for $2,000, and what line normally would that come out of?
His leases line.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said.
Yep.
Okay. And is it, how much is in that line?
He has, I'll put the bank fees line here in the report quick. It's drying.
Okay. Can you just state your recommendation again? What
Well,
you just said
you know, he
one more
could
time?
either, I mean, I know you guys have indicated not having any interest in allowing any more or supplemental appropriations unless absolutely necessary in the general fund. But he does have some lines that still have money available. And he also has some money in his tree tax. Don't know if he could split it, so it's not all on the general fund, but I haven't asked them yet.
Well, I think basically, again, you know, this is under your authority, but my recommendation anyway would be to ask him to try to find a line that he has funds in that would
Yes, that's what
make
we're going
sense
with. Yeah.
to buy copiers with. If that is not possible, that I would be okay with moving the $2,000 out of bank fees because of his work trying to find some interest, additional interest for the investments, et cetera, but I would much rather that it come out of existing lines.
It looks like he still has $3,400 left in his copier lease line.
Split, maybe?
Yeah, well, let's take it out of that, and if at the end of the year there is some need for some equipment, we can talk about bank fee line again. How's that?
Okay, I like it.
And then the other requests I have, appropriation adjustment, is from the sheriff's office. They are requesting to take roughly $99,000 out of their salary line to move to various service lines, uniform lines, supply lines. You know, we had indicated to him that we weren't ready to do an additional supplemental appropriation to find the expenses that he's got himself approved. But moving from salaries is a little tricky because he has asked us for an additional money in his salary line, and
So
to
we're
move
short
it.
in salary line right now?
He's asked for it because we reduced it at the budget time, but we reduced it based off of our numbers instead of his numbers. So he's indicated that we shorted him on his salary line at budget time, which, I mean, he said that in board too, so.
Yeah, so in other words, he requested this,
Mhm.
we approved that, and that was a lot more than the year before.
Right.
Okay, so that pullback is, in the
Right.
sheriff's mind, we cutting.
Right.
Okay, so, comment.
Well, we just need to be very clear about the fact that the sheriff's budget line in total in 2022 was significantly higher than it was in 2021. The request for 2022 from the sheriff was above and beyond the significantly higher amount that we approved over 2021. So, you know, it's how you spin it. The fact is that we had about $1 million more in 2022 than we did in 2021. The request was for like $2 million more, but we still increased it significantly as a percentage and as a whole dollar amount. So, just to be clear from the public standpoint, that the sheriff went from 6 to 7 million.
Yeah.
You know, like 6.8, 5.8 to 6.8 or something like that. You're
Someplace in that range,
Yeah.
but you can do the math, 5.8 to 6.8, whatever that percentage is significantly higher than percentages across the county. For certain, the request was more like 7.8. We did cut that back. Yes, we cut back the request, but we increased it significantly from the prior year. So, my concern about moving $90,000 or whatever that number might be from salaries is that what's going to happen at the end of the year if we don't have money in the salary line.
I think he mentioned in his email that he hasn't got his staff up to the request he did last year for 5 additional, I think it was 4 corrections and a nurse. He hasn't got that staffed up yet, just because, you know, we're having trouble hiring as everybody is right now. So he had indicated that, you know, this year he wouldn't need that. This would be to help cover some of the expenses he's already agreed to, as we had asked him to do, is to stay within his budget. So
My response to that is just to make it very clear, we'll transfer the money, but we will not entertain any additional requests for salaries in 2022.
Yeah, so you know, to me, we don't micromanage within those budgets. You know, if the sheriff has $6.8 million to spend, I trust he can move the money around to accomplish what he has to accomplish with $6.8 million.
okay.
So, you know, that's up to him, but that's all the money we have. You know, that's what we approved. And I think, you know, as Commissioner Kirschner would say, this is not a one-time, this is an operating budget that we're talking about, right? We're not talking about one-time COVID expenses to fix a dryer or wash machine or something.
Right.
So I think everyone in the county has a request, and then they get an approval. Whatever the approval is, that's what we live with, right? Isn't that our job?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's what you're asking us. We've approved X. We've made it clear going into budget season and sales tax is down, we're all concerned that we need to stay within X.
Yeah, we
So
do.
if the sheriff wants to move money around, I think that's what Commissioner Kirschner's saying. I guess we're saying it's okay, but when it gets to be October, November, December, if he moves money around, he needs to move other money back in. He has to find money somewhere for payroll, because I don't think that's an emergency.
What were your thoughts about it? I mean, you felt
unless I'm
uncomfortable
missing
with
Yeah, I just wanted to.
Is that a fair
Yeah.
summary?
Because he does have expenses that he needs to get paid, and we've asked him to stay within his budget. Just pulling out of salary lines, I only hesitate just because,
Yeah.
we're in a union contract, so we have to pay salaries. I don't want it to come back on us later in the year and end up having to put more money in salaries, because that's what the union contract says. So,
Well, there's a couple other issues. We just can't budget by hoping for forgiveness instead of permission, right? So we're gonna stick to, from a core operating standpoint, there will be no additional monies. If they want to transfer monies from, one account to the other, and they think they're gonna get through the year, okay.
Okay with me too.
all right, I'll
Yeah,
go ahead
I
and
think-
push those through.
Sheriff's doing a great job. We just
Yes.
have to, we all have, limits.
Yep, he's doing what you asked him to do, so, but I
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure you were
Exactly.
aware, and I didn't just push it through.
Okay?
Let's see, I have supplemental appropriations. I actually have a decrease from regional planning. They are decreasing their transfers outlined by $16,221.83. thing what she was anticipating doing as an advance repayment instead of a transfer. So she needs to reduce that line so she can get our advance paid back. I have a request from the sheriff's office.
Can I ask you one?
Oh,
Excuse
go
me.
ahead.
Yeah, is that 40,000 payback?
No,
Okay, what's the,
this one is.
she's reducing it to payback? What-
This is her 3114. CDBG allocation grant is the line that she's, oh, maybe it is part of that 40.
So remember.
But it wasn't, no, her 40 wasn't our advance, a 40 was an advance to the
From them.
entities.
Over to
Yeah,
Attica. Attica is paying that back.
Right,
If they
yeah.
have it. Okay, this
this
has
is a
nothing to do
different
with-
because the CDBG, it has to be spent and then reimbursed. So she has been reimbursed. She was trying to pay us back, I think, the advance and accidentally had it put into the transfers out line.
Okay.
So she's just reducing it so she can pay our advance back.
Thank you.
Yep. And Sheriff's Office has a request in for a lease overpayment refund. They had a total of $808.91. Just got the payment made twice. And so to put it back into their line, we had to reappropriate that. So we got the money back and she just needs to reappropriate it. And the next one I have is from Regional Planning, asking for $2,000 in other expense. It says funds to pay 10% admin fee to Seneca Regional Planning as the grant administrator for loan repayments from the CHIP rehab program.
So we had, I mean, we had $20,000 in revolving loan funds. throughout the
Repayment?
year. Throughout the year, so 2,000 goes to them for that.
Yep. Paper resolutions. So I have a resolution authorizing the contract between the Seneca County Airport, and actually it's the lease, between Seneca County Airport, Seneca County Commissioners for the airport lease and easement. Their lease payment is $1 a year. It has been for, as far as I can remember. And
So
it's
that's 60.
extends it out to
Year.
25 years.
60-year agreement.
And easement is due to the property we had purchased. So,
Cleaning that up, is that
Yep.
what this does?
yep. So, unless you have any questions.
And this is what we've had before, right? So,
Yep. So I have a resolution authorizing the amendment with Buckeye IT Services effective September 1, 2022. We needed to get a new service agreement put in place. We did increase it a little bit more, just because of, you know, an increase in service calls. And he did reduce his contract by 20% during COVID. So this is just getting him back up. A resolution authorizing the mutual aid agreement between the local governments of the City of Fostoria, City of Tiffin, and the County of Seneca to establish the Black Swamp Emergency Services Unit and authorizing the Seneca County Sheriff to sign and all related documents. And that was at the request of Sheriff and the prosecutor.
thoughts?
Well, I think I brought this up before. We used to have, once a year, an emergency management meeting. If there's a disaster in the county, the commissioners are the highest elected officials, and we need to run that in the event that something happens. These two gentlemen have never been through that, and I wonder if we've got that set up or plan to have that set up.
Yeah, we did it
Is that the
in,
Bascom one?
yeah,
A month ago.
we did it in Bascom. I think you guys had other obligations before it was on the calendar, so I don't think you guys can make it, but they had it in Bascom. We had, at the last LEPC meeting, they talked about our review, and our review was very good, so but it was more of like just the tabletop. They went over to Bascom, sitting
Do
around.
we have, okay, so if there is a major disaster, obviously, then commissioners are called and have to make some decisions. Where would the commissioners go to get the phone chain or to get notification that they need to be somewhere? And how would we know about the location and
Yep.
all those kind of things?
It would be our EOC, which is our public safety building.
Okay.
The upstairs is set
Right.
up to have all those phones, you know, internet, different things. You know, if it goes down, we have direct landlines, we have cell phones, and
I think as a matter of public record, we ought to get John or whoever in here
sure.
to go over the procedures in the event there's an emergency that's called. So you guys have some documentation in writing as to what it is you need to do.
Good
I mean,
idea.
if somebody called you today and said there's a major emergency, we had a toxic spill with the railroad and we got to evacuate part of the county, what would you do?
Go to your house.
Head out to the fairgrounds.
Head to the fairgrounds.
So, and again, but that's another reason.
But that's a serious, you know, that's in all seriousness, right?
Yeah, that's, and that's another reason, frankly, when we talk about capital budget improvements, that wherever that building is, hopefully is in an area that's not affected, and that it's secure, and that it's, you know, significantly modern to be able to handle all the IT stuff, et cetera, that's gonna happen there.
And if
So-
we get
Yeah, I mean, if you
strong
guys-
broadband throughout the county, it's my understanding, Don Spark can take a couple briefcases.
Yeah, that's right.
And go to where
He needs to
high
go.
speed.
Yeah, and there's, I
set
think
up
there's a
and we now have
reciprocal agreement, do
temporary.
they have a reciprocal agreement with another county that they could set that up there, like as a backup site? Somewhere along the way, we had that
West Oregon
agreement.
can.
So they were gonna go to the western part of the state, I think.
That I'll have to check on. I don't remember them
I never
discussing
heard
it.
that either.
I think that there's an alternative site geographically away from here.
And John
Let's-
Spar is on the call if
Okay.
he wants to answer any questions.
Well, let's get through this and then let's
Okay.
keep that, if you will, for the end and ask that
Yeah.
question.
All right.
That's good.
I have a resolution amending the designation of the Emergency Planning Committee for Seneca County, Ohio. There was a couple changes, so this is not usually when we'd update it, but we had a couple vacancies, so they needed to add it. So for fire, we have Rob Chappell, Brian Herbert, law enforcement, Fred Stevens, and Keith Loreno, which now we're gonna have to amend it again because he's retired. Elected official, Tyler Schuff, Aaron Motz, which maybe we should not do this one.
Yeah. Might as well bring that in next week and make the changes.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Yeah.
All right, we're just gonna pull that one off because I see a
I would-
couple that needs
Just
changed.
as a suggestion to you.
Is that okay, John? Oh, I don't
Yeah.
think I can.
Yeah, and he gave me a couple of messages real quick. I'll just read them. He said, we do have mutual aid agreements with contiguous counties for assistance, and he is available anytime to come in to give a presentation on the procedures if the EOC is activated. So anytime we want to schedule that, we can work it out with him.
Okay. My suggestion to you about that resolution is to use titles as opposed to individuals.
We were told we couldn't do that anymore.
Okay.
Yep, state said we couldn't do that anymore.
All right, then we have to.
Am I correct, John?
Overruled.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the question from Commissioner Kirschner.
He had asked about
But that's
doing
good.
titles
That makes
instead
more
of
sense.
names. And the state
Oh,
has
yeah,
told
no,
us-
they need to have specific names, and so when we change a name, we have to resubmit a single request through the commissioners.
Okay, got it.
Okay, and we have a couple on there that obviously are no longer elected officials or law enforcement, so do you want to amend this? And we can pass it at a later date?
The current, I've submitted the changes that replaced the, well, no, you're right. I'll resubmit it for a later date. I forgot about Chief Loreno is probably gonna have to come off there, et cetera. So that's just a matter of taking them off rather than replacing them. We already have somebody in those slots who still fits those categories.
Okay, so you want me to go ahead and pass that, just take those off?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, take Aaron Moss off
Yeah.
too. Okay.
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 So I guess I'll finish. So elected official right now, just Tyler. Emergency management would be John Spar and Matt Gray. Hospitals, Tamara Salier and Andrea Fuller, one from Mercy, one from ProMedica. First aid would be Ken Majors and Dana Gaybauer. Health would be Ann Goon and Annette Moore. Environmental is Laura Robinstein. Transportation, Thomas Powell. Media, Zach Stump. Community group is Susan Black. Industry is Ed Olam. And we have a couple other, which would be Mike Place, myself, Dale Thornton, and Eric Heckler. So let me cross those out.
Well,
Okay, and then I have one more. A resolution authorizing a contract service agreement with NCOESC to provide all necessary and appropriate staff and instructions for the Seneca County Youth Center. This is their educational program. They have this every year. Let's see if I can find them out real quick. We do the contract with them for their teaching. Charges students district $90 per day of instruction. And that's all I have.
Okay, I'd move for approval of supplemental appropriations and for the authorizations and resolutions.
Second.
That one.
first and second. We're good? Roll call.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes. Okay. Anything else, Stacy?
Nope.
Anybody? Okay. Public comment from the audience. Anyone like to speak? Back anything? That's good. Okay. Jimmy?
Yep, I didn't see anything in the chat, but obviously, as always, if you would like to come forward and make a comment, you can unmute your line and do that now.
Mr. Ditto on?
I do see Mike Ditto on there.
We always pick on you. Like,
You know, I always sat in the back row at school because I never wanted to be called on, but this is fine, this is good.
We'd love to hear from you. Yeah.
Mike, there's an old saying that said it's better to sit in the back and ask to be moved up front than sit in the front and ask to be moved to the back.
It's a good point, very good point. No, good morning, everyone. Hope you're all well. As you know, we had the elections earlier this week, and I think there was just a couple of surprises in the General Assembly. Just so you know, there were two incumbents in the Ohio House that were unseated by a Republican challenger. Obviously, nobody in your area, but just of note. And we have been working pretty closely over the last week or so with Representative Click's office, again on that emergency management draft about essential services and designating them as essential service for the EMS. So we're working on that. And I think that our team is going to try to work with you in coming up to Tiffin sometime in late August or early September. We'd love to meet with all of you if you have time, just to talk about next steps on the budget and some other things coming up here soon. So we'll be in touch on that.
Representative Click was out at the Fair Bend. His aide was there. I know, Bill, you talked to him. But we had a nice discussion about what you just referenced.
Good. Excellent.
He's
actually, his office has been very helpful.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. Any questions?
All I have this morning.
Thank you.
You got it.
Anybody else, Jimmy?
I don't see anything at this time.
Okay, next meeting, Stace, is Wednesday at 10.
Correct.
Same place. Hearing nothing else, meeting adjourned.